From the sidelines to your ears, it's the Benchwarmers podcast, where sports meets humor. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jordan. How you doing, Jordan? It's been a crazy day for the NFL.
Oh my god, dude, it's been so crazy. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
That's awesome.
I'm ready to rip and tear into this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what do we got on today's schedule?
Today we're going to talk about the UFC 313 right off the bat, I think, because that was a pretty wild match from what I understand, and I'm pretty sure I saw it went the distance, but you're going to tell us about that. And then probably cover something on SmackDown real quick, and then we're going to get right into the NFL free agency. There's been a lot of signings, a lot of trades. As you all know that listen to the cast, it started at noon today, and it's been crazy. So this is going to be a shorter cast. It's not going to be an hour and a half or, hour and 45 minutes like usual. We're going to try to do this in about 45 minutes or so. So because there's a lot of people that moved around in the NFL, but not a lot of huge names. So we're just going to cover some of that stuff. Sound good to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, well, let's kick right off with UFC 313, Jordan. Tell us about that. I know you watched it.
Yeah, so UFC 313, the main card started off, with a bang. You got a few first round finishes. But Jalen Turner and where else did we? Justin Gaethje as well. Justin Gaethje did really well. He didn't get a first round finish. He got that third round decision, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
The problem comes in the end of this fight, in the end of this card, dude. That's what flusters me. I had that fight with Alex Poatan Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. I had that 3-2 with Alex Pereira winning. For some reason, they gave the third round to Ankalaev. I don't understand. The first round, I scored that 10-8. A lot of people scored that 10-9. I said 10-8 because Magomed wasn't doing anything. The second round was clear cut. Magomed started to pick up. Third round, I gave that to Alex Pereira. Fourth round, they scored it from Magomed. I also scored that from Magomed. The fifth round, Alex Pereira should have won that. That's a lot of the fuss today is these judges and their scoring. I think that everybody is freaking human, and they all make mistakes, and that's a big mistake. I'm a fan, and let me just say this to address all these comments on the internet about how boring of a fight that fight was, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. These people are expecting knockouts, and like from a striking standpoint, if you want something like that, you go to Muay Thai side of things or professional boxing. The UFC and everything else that consists of mixed martial arts is more than just striking. You got grappling, whether it be wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, anything, and I think that fans just don't. Fans are really behind their guy. I'm a fan of Pereira, and I really hope that he moves up to heavyweight, like everybody else is saying that he does. Saying that he will. I do not know what's what's next for the former light heavyweight champion of the world, but I'm excited to find out. Other than that, though, we've seen Justin Gaethje. I mentioned his name. A lot of people were saying that this might be the end of the road for him, considering what happened at UFC 300. I do not think so. From what I've seen of Justin Gaethje, I still think he should finish this year out and maybe go into the next year. I think that what's next for Justin Gaethje should be the UFC lightweight championship of the world, and that's a fight with Islam Makhachev for the belt. When, I do not know. It all depends on when the champ and Justin will be ready to go. But other than that, it was a great night for fights, man.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it was a wild night. I saw some videos of people getting heated over that main card
Yeah, yeah. Well,
fight. Well, I seen one going around where a guy kicked his TV and threw it across the room. Yeah, so people are getting pretty heated about that.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, I understand because the Amanda Lemos fight, um, that went the distance, just like the first fight I had mentioned with Turner. I mean, with Gaethje. Sorry, the second fight I mentioned. That fight, I understand why people are upset because that was just that was a bunch of fucking nonsense. Amanda Lemos is a lot better than that. I expected this fight to be a banger. It wasn't. But yeah, that fight I stand behind the fans with, but the main event I don't. I just see that Magomed really closed the door on on Alex Pereira, and who knows? Maybe Alex Pereira doesn't go to heavyweight and he stays in light heavyweight and just asks for that rematch. I know Yuri Prohaska seems to be next in the light heavyweight division for the belt, and we'll see we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. I mean, the light heavyweight division, they ain't got many stars. I mean, Magomed is Dagestani, fits in with that group of Russians that are taking over the sport right now. He does not train with Habib or Coach Javier over at AKA. He has his own team, but nonetheless, he is a Russian fighter, and they all seem to stick together. This could be a making in the star. A lot of people don't think so. I see this is the making. Let his personality shine. He's on a brand new champ, and looking forward to his reign. Now, the other side, like I said, the heavyweight division, now that's star-studded. You got John Jones there, who is the reigning defending heavyweight champion of the world, and then you got Tom Aspinall, who's the interim heavyweight champion of the world. Those two should be fighting. John doesn't want it. Tom does. I think everybody wants to see that fight between Tom Aspinall and John Jones, and the winner of that could possibly be fighting Alex Poatan Pereira.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how all that shakes up. Uh, I see. We're going to move on to talking about a little bit of SmackDown because some things got heated over that way. But I see the next big UFC fight, 314, comes on Saturday, April 12th, and I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit about that once we get closer.
Absolutely.
So let's transition into SmackDown. What happened in SmackDown, Jordan?
I'm not. I'm going to be cut and dry about this, dude. As I told you before the show started, I only watched the two segments. Cody Rhodes, and what he had to say, with John Cena and Bianca Belair. That's the one I paid attention to the most. That's, as you guys know who watched the show. I'm invested into that story. So if you don't mind, Zach, why don't we start there? Bianca Belair and Naomi.
Yeah, we can start there.
What'd you think? Did you see any of that? If so, what were your thoughts about that?
I saw a little bit of it. I was a little busy this weekend, so I didn't get a chance to watch SmackDown. But I seen clips on, Twitter or Facebook, and I seen it got a little emotional.
It
There
did.
with Naomi and Bianca Belair. Um, I see Naomi was saying that Jade don't give a damn about Bianca. What do you think of that?
I think that what Naomi is doing is exactly what you and I had said in the last episode we did, where we talked about her getting rid of this glow package, this glow gimmick, and really coming into her own. You seen? I mean, it was still bedazzled, but she was dressed in all black on Friday, um, and I think that Naomi is playing this part as the heel, you know, um, and it's. I don't want to say that we've never seen this type of heel before, because we have, where they go out and they try to pin the blame on somebody else. The first thing that comes to
Right.
mind, and I know that you have probably seen the memes along with everybody else, the "I did it for Bianca" meme, the
Oh,
Rikishi meme.
the Rikishi meme. He
Yeah,
did it. And he did it for The Rock.
Exactly, dude. So I'm glad that they're having fun. The fans are having fun with this. This is something that needed to happen for Naomi. If I followed her over into TNA and stuff like that when her and Sasha split, and she kept the same gimmick over there and decided to come back with it. That's not what we need. We need this Naomi that's coming forth now, and I'm really excited. Well, I wasn't really a big Naomi fan for no reason other than I just wasn't. Um, I'm starting to see a little bit in her, and I'm hoping that it just keeps going up from here, and I can hope that I can remain a fan. I don't know about you.
I've always liked Naomi. I've never really had a problem with her. Uh, I even liked her when she was a Funkadactyl.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because that's when she first started.
what happened to her? That's her real life sister too, ain't it? What happened to her?
That I'm not really sure. I just think she just couldn't live up to, singles competition. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I agree.
Her and Naomi were a tag team there for a little bit, and that was Brodus Clay they were with, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when Brodus got released, or he started doing something different, and they tried to do a tag team thing, I think it worked as a tag team, but when they ended it, the other one just couldn't. I can't even remember her name. She just couldn't hold up to singles competition.
Now, was
And
she
that
Naomi?
happens sometimes.
Was she Naomi then? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but anyways, I like this segment. I like this segment a lot. And to answer your original question about you know the whole Jade Cargill thing is. I, I believe that there was actual animosity between the three backstage, so I think that they're trying to work a little bit of that in, which if so, good. And if I'm wrong, then so be it. I like this angle. I really like this angle a lot. It plays Naomi as the heel really well. And I don't know what they're doing with Jade. Bianca's obviously the face in this situation.
Right.
But what I'm really interested in is where this goes to because, Bianca's got a WrestleMania match coming up.
Yeah, she does.
For the heavyweight title. I wonder how all of this is going to play into her match. What angle, Triple H and Nick Khan are going to take throughout all of this. And, dude, it's just so exciting to be a wrestling fan because just when you think, just last week I was talking about, Naomi needs to do this. Naomi needs to do that. And you know what? She actually did. It's so exciting to be a wrestling fan right now. This is,
Oh, it definitely is.
can't miss television at some points. Now, the rest of the show, as I said, I didn't really pay too much mind to, but that angle for sure, I'm really interested in it on the SmackDown side of things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on and watch some of these segments from SmackDown because I see that what you're gonna bring up here in a little bit. The Cody Rhodes segment was a big deal. So let's jump into that real quick. Maybe for like 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna get into some NFL news because, like I said, there's a lot to go over. But I didn't see any of this segment. I'm just looking at tweets and stuff right now. I do like how Cody brought up, "If you want some, come get some."
I thought that was a great line.
The John Cena line that's always been John Cena's thing when he was champion. I I'm excited for this match. Honestly, I know John Cena's old. He's washed up. They're gonna make him look good, and there's probably no reason why he should beat Cody Rhodes. And I just have a feeling they're gonna have him beat Cody Rhodes. But we'll talk more about that when WrestleMania gets a little closer. But tell us about this segment since you watched it.
You get the whole Cody Rhodes shtick coming out, obviously. Lots of pyro. The first thing that I noticed, and I think that we mentioned it the last episode where I talked about the shot that Travis Scott gave to Cody. Did you see that black eye?
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is gnarly.
Nailed him.
Oh my god, dude! It's like he actually it's like they hopped in the freaking octagon. I couldn't believe that, dude. what I really got from this promo is Cody is he's taking on the role of John Cena. One of those lines that he mentioned was, "Oh, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna butcher it if I go word for word," but basically, John Cena jealous of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be the next big thing of WWE. Whether you want to believe it or not, Cody Rhodes is the guy. He is going to be the guy moving forward. That's mainly the story is,
Right.
Cody is
Cody's going to be
taking
the
over.
new baby face of the WWE. He's going to be,
Exactly. Exactly. So
he's
that's
going
what,
to be the one that's carrying the WWE, through thick and thin, through this whole Netflix era, through SmackDown eventually getting, going to Netflix, because that's I would assume that's going to happen at some point. And I think Cody just stays a babyface. I don't think they give him a heel turn. Although, just when he had that segment with CM Punk, what was that, a month ago or so, when CM Punk was telling him about the weight of holding on to that championship,
oh
losing
yeah.
friends, stuff like that. They kind of gave it an angle where Cody could possibly turn heel. So who knows? But we'll have to see how this whole thing turns out for Cody.
And you notice that Cody, I love him because this is the best babyface work we've seen. I would say since the end of the PG Circus era.
Right.
But one thing I notice about Cody is that he goes over an extra with everything that he says.
Oh, he definitely does.
So if he got into a random fucking bar scrap that was a one and done thing down there, it lasted 5 minutes. You can bet your ass he's hopping on the mic and speaking for an hour at least.
Oh, yeah.
About how
Yeah.
he was in his own blood, a pool of his own blood, and he looked up and he seen the great American dream, Dusty Rhodes, looking down on his baby boy, and some of the some of the greatest acting in WWE today. Again, I can't stress this enough, dude. This is some of the best work that we're seeing come out of the WWE, locker room in some time. I'm really, really excited.
Oh, it definitely is, and we're probably sound like broken records because we say it every week. It is some of the best work that is happening.
Yeah, and I think
we're
that
excited to see how everything goes with it.
yeah, and I think that we say that because as WWE fans, I know you haven't watched AEW much. I have, and so I'm on both sides here, mainly on WWE side since the lack of product coming out of the AEW regime. Again though, we say that because it actually is. Aside from the numbers, these wrestlers they tell you every time they're in this to make you feel. They're in this.
Right.
They want to make you feel, whether it be hate, love, sadness, no matter what. They want to make you feel, and that's exactly when Cody hops on the mic, when Punk hops on the mic, any of them hop on the mic today. You feel it. Everybody but The Rock, because it seems like The Rock is all over the place. I don't know what the hell Brian Gershwitz is doing in that writing room, but you need to shape it up, bud. But this Cody,
I'm sure The Rock has a lot to say about that.
Yeah, but
The Rock has a lot to say about everything.
everything, and
Most definitely.
I think that that what we're going to see now is a little bit of the corporation tied in with the new way of WWE. This time, without Vince McMahon, who are we gonna? I think The Rock is gonna have to play this role, and I think that he already is. And obviously John Cena is gonna play the role of The Rock. Now we just need to find everything else. But this Cody Rhodes promo is basically cut and dry. Cody Rhodes, doing his normal thing. Goes on to address the Travis Scott thing, and then he goes in on The Rock, and then ends it with obviously Cena. I'm excited for this match because I honestly, it's to a point where I really don't know what's really going to happen. This match can go both ways, and I'd still be happy. If Rhodes walks out of Las Vegas with the belt, I'll be all right. If Cena does, I'll be all right too.
Yeah, kudos to Cena then, because he'll break the record. But real quick, before we move on to the NFL, I've seen some rumblings and tweets from Ric Flair. Do you think he shows up at WrestleMania to try to sabotage this?
I think Ric Flair, to be honest, dude, I think Ric Flair is a bitter, lost, out of touch old man right now.
I could see that. I could see that because I've seen he's training again to try to wrestle.
Yeah. Did you look at any of that last match? I didn't watch the whole thing, but
the Ric Flair match?
Yeah, not with Shawn Michaels in WWE. I'm talking about. It was like 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was with Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Ric
see
Flair looked like shit.
Absolutely. So for him to come, even if it's just like a heel like segment of him like being physical, I don't want to see that at all.
I think it'd be different if he came as like a manager.
Yeah, if we can get
do a manager role, I would gladly take that. But him getting into the ring at what? He's got to be.
I think he's 80 something. Oh yeah, 70 something, 80 something. He's up there, bro.
He's gonna be like the Mae Young.
Exactly. So and he's not gonna be like, if he's gonna go in there, and chances are like he's gonna take a bump. It's Ric Flair. Is this gonna ruin the story, or is it gonna improve it? Because the real record is actually 21 championships, not 16.
Ric Flair's 16, I thought.
No, that's only in WWE. The actual professional wrestling record is 21 championships.
Well, yeah, because of his through WCW and stuff like that.
NWA, everything else, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they really count that.
No, they don't. They don't.
WWE record.
And that's why I say Ric Flair is a bitter, lost, out of touch old man. Because, dude, you're shitting on a young guy. First of all, let's stand back. The stuff that happened beyond, the dark side of the ring. And then he went out and tried burying Jim Ross because Jim Ross, he got tricked into, that whole thing. And you guys know the rest. If not, go watch it on Saving Conrad. Ric Flair started it then. And then all of a sudden, then it came to, the actual record's 21 championships to where we are now. And enough is enough. We're getting all right. He passed the torch down. Okay, so now we're getting that again. Whether it be Rhodes, Reigns, Rollins, any of them, we need that. So just let it happen. He needs to just let that happen. Stay out of it. You have your little podcast and all kinds of stuff like that. Your time is done.
Yeah,
John's is now.
I think the only way they get this to work is if he shows up to like Raw or SmackDown and.
He's got to show up sober first.
Well, yeah. But I think the only way they get it to work is if they get him on Raw or SmackDown and kind of like bring the kind of like the manager vibe, like I said, to Cody Rhodes. And then, he shows up at WrestleMania in that aspect. But we will talk more on that when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we got about 20 minutes left. Around-ish.
Massacre week.
It is, definitely, and it's basically Christmas time for all 32 teams, except for my Cowboys, because Jerry Jones is all in, and we don't do anything in free agency.
I feel your pain.
So let's go into the free agency. Where do you want to start? You want to start in the
Let's start with
AFC East, or?
I got some names here, some big names. Ronnie Stanley of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens dropped $60 million on him. I do not know the years. I don't know how many. What is it?
It's 3 years, $60 million.
Okay, so 3 years, $60 million. That was a big name on the list as far as in the trenches go. What'd you think about that?
I mean, he's a lockdown tackle, Yeah,
absolutely.
You can't ask for. You could probably ask for better, but Ronnie Stanley is really good.
Really good.
he is a quintessential part to that line, especially with Derrick Henry, and
Yep.
especially how much, excuse me, how much Lamar Jackson runs around.
Oh yeah.
So you need that protection. So that was a big lockup for them.
Oh yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
One of the big names that I see, and it might not even be a big name to some, but to me, I feel like is a big deal. Justin Fields.
Yeah.
What are the Steelers doing? I mean, why not give Fields a chance? We can bring this up too. They just traded for DK Metcalf,
Yeah.
right? A solid wide receiver for the other side, of Pickens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you would think you'd want a younger quarterback to work with those kinds of guys. I just don't understand what they thought of letting Fields walk and to go to the Jets. Like, they couldn't afford him or what? What do you think of it?
I honestly think that these teams are seeing something in Justin Fields that honestly we're not seeing. That's the only thing I can think of because the stint in Chicago, he was what, #1 overall draft by
Yep,
Chicago? Yeah,
something
and
like that. He was close. If he wasn't #1, he was pretty damn close to the
yeah,
top.
absolutely. And from what I've seen of the guy, he's great. He could stand in the pocket. He can make the throws. He could scramble. He's got legs. He could fight for the first down.
Yep.
I didn't really like that whole battle all season long between him and Russell Wilson. I
No.
thought that was foolish because with what we've seen Danger Russ do in Denver, and that wasn't much under Sean Payton. And then he comes to Pittsburgh and does pretty much the same thing, a little better, but still roughly around the same thing. Justin Fields, though, um, seems like one of those guys that just can't find his home. He reminds me a lot of Sam Darnold in ways. He was drafted to a team that's not set up for him. They never made any moves to set up for him in Chicago. They with Mike Tomlin, I thought maybe he'd be all right, but I guess not. I guess he didn't get the job done there for him. But Mike
That
Tomlin knows his stuff, though. I mean, the guy hasn't had a losing season in how long?
I want to say like 6 years or something like that,
Yeah.
or
So I mean,
it's been a
he
while. But
knows.
that's also they also haven't been back to the playoffs, in a long time, and they haven't won a playoff game in a long time.
Hey, did you see Big
So
Ben? Did you see Big Ben getting on social
Big
media
Ben
with the
saying he's got
helmet?
a few more throws in the tank.
Yeah, he says you got Metcalf on one side, Pickens on the other, Muth up the middle.
Yep.
I got a few more throws in me, coach. Yeah, the fuck you don't. Sit your ass on the fucking bench, Ben.
Right? Yeah. I honestly, before we move on we're talking about Pittsburgh now, so we can just keep on going with them. I don't think they've really made any other moves besides they signed a 1-year contract with Donald Parham Jr., a tight end that I don't even know who that is. But how do you think, because you got two hotheads of wide receivers,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think they're going to coexist with each other? Because DK Metcalf is a proven #1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
George Pickens is a proven #1 wide receiver. Who takes the #2 spot, and is Pickens gonna be respectful enough to the veteran of the game and give him number 14? That's what I want to know.
It all depends. Is the money right? Because that's what it boils down to. Um,
I mean, DK Metcalf he signed a 4-year deal for $132
no,
million dollars.
I'm talking about them. Is you're gonna have to pay for that number now.
Oh, you think DK will pay for that number?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think he will. If he really wants it. If it all depends, dude. I mean, does he want to play meaningful football and help the Steelers squad win? If
Or
the
did he
answer
just
is
move there for money?
exactly, if he just moved there for money, I could see him making a scene about that number. But to answer your question before that is, I think that this offense is set up for whoever takes the snaps, let them be good because we know Sam Darnold isn't available no more. We'll get into that later, but whoever takes them snaps in Pittsburgh is going to have a load of weapons. You
Oh
know,
yeah, definitely. I
I
don't. Who do they got at running back now?
I think it's still Najee Harris.
No, he signed.
Oh,
He signed
Le'Veon
somewhere
Bell.
else, I thought.
Le'Veon Bell's coming back.
Le'Veon Bell's coming back. Yeah, right.
I seen it. I see. Going back to that Big Ben thing, he retweeted Big Ben's video, and he says, "Well, Ben's coming, and let me know. I'll slide too."
I want to say Najee Harris signed somewhere. I thought I seen it, but maybe he didn't because he's a free agent right now, right?
I'm not quite sure. I thought he was in Pittsburgh. Check that real quick, will you?
Well, I'm looking at all the action that's been kind of happening. Maybe nobody signed him yet. Maybe I think what I saw was like a speculation thing, that where he would fit right. So no, Najee hasn't signed anywhere yet. So as of right now, he's still a Steeler,
Yeah.
but I think he's free agent right now.
And depending on who takes the snaps, I think that we'll get an answer at running back there. Because if you're Najee Harris, you're not going to want to go back to the same old, same old. He's 27
No.
years old, dude. He's 27 years
Yeah.
old. I mean, we've talked about it before, man. Anybody who's not a quarterback or doesn't play any of those physical positions of line, running back, receiver, corner, backer, you know, you got to really pay attention to your age. And,
Oh yeah.
health is wealth, honestly. Um, if I'm Najee Harris, though, I want to make sure that my future is secure, whether it be championships or if he wants to ride out the rest of his career and make bank, so be it. But if he wants to win championships, he should really wait until they find out who's going to play, who's going to start day one for the Pittsburgh Steelers before signing.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, let's move off the Steelers here.
Let's go to your Cowboys.
You want to go to the Cowboys?
Yeah, I do
Pretty
actually.
much going on there. We talked about this. I think it was last cast. They re-signed a big name. Oso Digizua,
Yep.
defensive lineman. Basically, he's the tackle. He's probably the best tackle that we got. 4-year, $80 million contract, $58 million guaranteed. I'm okay with that. I love Odigizua. I've liked him since he was a rookie, so I'm glad they kept him. CJ Goodwin, they re-signed him for a 1-year deal. He's okay as a backup. He got burned a lot. Marquise Bell, I do like him at safety. They re-signed him for a 3-year deal for $12 million. And our long snapper, I mean, he's been the long snapper there for a long time. Trent Siege, they re-signed him on a free agent deal. But that's it. I'd like to see them try to go after a running back. I wanted them to trade for DK Metcalf. I wanted them to trade for Deebo Samuels. We need somebody else on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. And you're telling me that cheap fuck, Jerry Jones, couldn't give up a 5th-round pick for Deebo Samuels? Like,
What? Wait. We'll start at DK because I know that seems to fire you up. He went for what? A second rounder?
second round. I don't know if I would have gave him a second rounder, to be honest.
Right.
Just because of his age. He's 30 years old.
How much money do the Cowboys actually have? Do you know?
I want to say they have like 50 something cap space.
Oh, 50 million.
I think so.
Oh, see, that's not bad. And the reason why I asked us to start here is because this will segue into the Patriots as well. Dallas is not looking to increase their star power or any of that sort. It seems like they're stuck in the mud. Does Jerry Jones really think that he is set and ready to go for a Super Bowl? Dak
Apparently.
Prescott just is coming off of an injury. CD, proven star, but you need help there.
Yep. We need help. We need help in wide receiver. We need a new running back. We need help at cornerback too, because let me tell you, Deron Bland, I don't know what he's going to be like. Yeah, he broke the record for most interceptions in a season, right?
Yeah.
But he was hurt all next year. So what's that going to do? And then Diggs, like I've talked about him before. I like him, but he's not that great of a lockdown corner. The reason that he gets all the interceptions that he does is because he played wide receiver in college. And he knows how to jump those routes and he knows how to read the quarterback.
Yeah.
And we're talking about cornerbacks, and one of the mainstay quarterbacks of the Cowboys, they let him fucking walk, Jordan Lewis. He was there for a long time, and now he signed a 3-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And he was a really good corner. So we need a lot of help. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. Jerry Jones, he's all in, so we're not doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I got when, when that first came up of him being all in. I thought, yep, Jerry Jones is not making any moves this offseason. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought he would at least, beef up because you had an offensive lineman that just retired, a homer of an offensive lineman, and I thought maybe you'd fill those holes. But again, like I said, segue into the Patriots because the Patriots are just now starting to spend money as they overpay some of these guys.
Oh yeah, I see they're paying big bucks. What they paid their biggest deal right now, I think, is
The defensive tackle from Philadelphia, Milton.
Milton Williams.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 4-year deal for $26 million a year. So
Still,
yeah, I'd say that's a pretty big deal. That also Carlton Davis, a
yep,
3-year deal for $60 million.
yep, yep.
Harold Landry, that's another big deal.
Which listen,
he signed a
I'm really excited about this one. This guy had his best seasons under Mike Vrabel, and with Mike Vrabel's taking the helm of the New England Patriots. I really like what he's doing so far. I mean, again, they're just now starting to spend money. I would like them. I would like for them to keep this up, but actually start working on the offensive line a little bit more. We signed an offensive tackle.
you had that Morgan Moses.
Yep, from the Jets.
It seems like they're
great.
focusing on defense right now. I would assume they're going to wait the next couple days to get more offensive weapons.
Well, see. Then that's what I'm getting into. It seems like what the goal is get as many as these defensive guys to fill the few remaining holes because we didn't do bad in rushing defense last year. Overall record is shitty, obviously, but if you break down the numbers, the New England Patriots defense it's not bad at all. It's the offense that struggles a lot. I would have loved for them to try and get in on that Deebo Samuel's race or the DK Metcalf race like you would for Dallas. I think that they're going to wait till the draft to fill the offensive line holes. Maybe Will Campbell. I think that the best thing for them to do is if Abdul Carter's not there, at that number 4 pick, take what you can to trade down. I wouldn't trade down too far, maybe 12, somewhere in that range, and then get somebody like Will Campbell.
Right.
And also, you're accumulating these picks for the second and third round. This is a very deep depth of offensive line, defensive edge rushers, defensive tackles, linebackers, and wide receivers as well.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe I'm hoping. I'd like to hope that Jerry Jones is just not spending money in free agency and hoping to, make a splash in the draft because it is such a deep depth on edge rushers and wide receivers and whatnot. So I'm hoping that we can get some weapons out of that. But I also hope for your New England Patriots that Harold Landry lives up to his $43.5 million deal.
Oh yeah,
with,
for sure.
$26 million fully guaranteed of a max value of $48 million.
Oh yeah,
for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's a rebuilding process. To expect. I seen one podcast today. I'm about to talk shit, so I ain't gonna I ain't gonna name drop them, but they were going in on Mike Vrabel potentially like taking the playoffs this coming year, and I couldn't have laughed even any more harder, dude. Like, you're giving these fans false fucking hope now? There's no way. I mean, other than the Washington Commanders last year, when's the last time you've seen a team of that caliber with that many holes in the team make the playoffs?
Not many.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I like how like some of these guys are being optimistic, but let's just face reality real quick for where it stands as it is. And 2-3 years max. Then we could start looking at playoffs.
right.
Yeah,
Playoffs.
yeah, playoffs. Playoffs.
But before we end the cast here, because we got about like 5 or so minutes left, I just want to bring up a couple of things. One thing you brought up last cast about Khalil Mack. And,
Yeah.
the Los Angeles Chargers signed him to a $18 million fully guaranteed deal.
They did.
For 1 year.
They did.
Yeah, 1 year. So that's good for him. And also, the last thing I want to bring up, the last big thing, because it's kind of, in my eyes, is probably kind of controversial to take the cast out on this. Myles Garrett. He wanted out. He wanted out.
He did.
He
Hey,
stays for money. 4-year extension that includes $123 million guaranteed. And his average salary per year is $40 million. Now that brings up the price for every other edge rusher. And I'll bring it up. The Cowboys have to pay Micah Parsons, so there's more money that they have to give up. But Myles Garrett, what do you think of this? He wanted out, he wanted to win, and now he stays for money. Do you think he before I even ask you this, I see that it ties Garrett up to the Browns for the next 6 years, and it also includes a no-trade clause.
yeah.
So do you think he fucked up, and do you think he's even going to work as hard as he used to? Now that he's gotten paid, he's fully guaranteed, basically.
No. The answer is no. I don't see him. I don't see the same drive anymore. I think that this is a waste of time. I really do. I mean, he could sit there and I don't know. I haven't seen anything out of Myles Garrett. Since that deal had happened. When I first seen that, bro, I honestly thought it was a joke. I thought it was one of those, gag things. It's not, and it threw me off. It really confused me because you put in all this work, and you had all of these people in Cleveland, fearful of you leaving, in hopes to win yourself a championship, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, sure, the money is really nice, dude. I've never had $1 million in my hand, so I don't know what it's like. He does, and I'm assuming it feels really nice because he took all of that money after saying all of this bullshit, because that's exactly what it is now. It's not...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, before you could take it with a grain of salt, but now it's just full-on bullshit. All of that work, everything that he has ever said or done to get out of that contract in Cleveland, to get out of Cleveland, to quote unquote make or play meaningful football. Yep. Come on, dude. Come on.
I think now that you see this, I think it was a scare tactic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's exactly what it was.
It was him trying to bleed them dry.
Yeah, but I think he took it too far. I think he really took it too far because you had 31 other teams that were calling, beckoning at the doorstep for this guy.
Oh, definitely.
And you already know that.
You can't tell me that there was. You can't tell me all 31 other teams weren't calling the Browns about this.
Oh yeah, and some of these teams have cap space up in the $100 millions. So
especially the Patriots, they could have went in and offered him $150 million guaranteed.
Oh yeah, which would be a lot more than what Cleveland, had offered him.
Yeah. And
you took that money after saying all that, scare tactic or not, it's all bullshit. And then now, and now, where do we go with the other players that actually mean it when they say no? I don't want to play for this organization no more because they're in a rebuild mode, and I want to actually win championships. That's gonna stain every statement that is made by any other player like that, from here on out, because everybody's gonna remember this and think, oh, well, remember what Myles Garrett did, remember what he did, and he signed for the money, and then on top of that too, dude, we were just talking about this. When are we feed your families? I get it. But in this game, you're looking for rings and trophies and stuff like that. When is that actually going to start to matter to these players? The money, like I said, the money is nice. I've never had $1 million, so I don't know what it's like. But at the same time, I want championships. Yep. As a fan, you as a Cowboys fan, 5 championships you guys got. Over here, 6 champions.
Yeah, we haven't been back to the playoffs since what, 96, 98?
Right, but
whenever we won the last Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it was 98, wasn't it, against Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think so. But so you as a fan of that organization, you've had a taste of that. You want more.
Well, me personally, I haven't. But
you weren't born in 98? I mean,
well, yeah, but
you were born in 90.
I was 5 years old when that happened. I wasn't that into football.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee you were scratching and itching with that star, with that Roger Staubach helmet on, huh?
Yeah, right.
Right. But anyways, dude, that's my point, though, is you should want to play meaningful football no matter where you're at. You should want to stand up to your superiors and say, hey, we're not good enough right now. I don't want to be here if this is all you want to do is you want to sell merchandise with my face on it. I could do that off the field.
Right.
I don't need to do that on the field. You're beating up your body for what? You're not doing it for championships.
No, he's doing it for the money. Yeah. He's got to be in it for the money, and we'll see how this shakes things up when Cleveland actually starts playing some games. But
wait a minute, though. Let's end this podcast not on that Myles Garrett bullshit, but on some other really big news because our boy Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, he signed a big deal.
Big deal. So what is it?
Bring that up real quick.
What is first reaction from you?
Oh, I saw the Bills signing him to a long-term deal. I didn't know it was going to be that much though.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I got from it was, okay, maybe the Bills are actually going to try and make a run for this. Maybe that, this is a sign of them locking down this guy that they're so high on. And not only are they high on, he's actually producing. It's not one of those things. Yeah. It's not one of those things where they pay him like Deshaun Watson, where they pay him a boatload of money, and then he plays dog shit or gets 500. Josh Allen is the real deal. He's the current reigning MVP of the league. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
I could see him winning another MVP.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If he's playing like that, yeah.
And for people who don't know about what his deal was, it was a 6-year deal worth $330 million with $250 million guaranteed.
Yep.
So we're happy for Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
He's getting that cheddar, but he also deserves it.
He does.
But we also have seen, I'm going to end it on this. We've seen quarterbacks that get paid, Dak Prescott, and suck it up the next year. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen for Allen, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations, Josh Allen. But on that note, since it's a better note than Myles Garrett, we are going to end this cast. This will be out tomorrow, Tuesday the 11th. And our next one we will have out on Saturday for you. And we'll get into more free agency news because we'll have a lot of time between now and Friday when we record for that. And that's probably going to be the majority of the cast. We'll probably go over some Raw stuff because Raw happens tonight, Monday the 10th. And with that, I think that's it. You got anything to add there, Jordan?
No. Everything is all good over here.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to sign off. The starters may get the glory, but the benchwarmers have the most fun. Tune in for another episode of the Benchwarmers podcast. Thank you.
Peace.